This is Camping with Wade's RV on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. Your RV guide for Oklahoma and beyond. Give us a call at 918-460-KRMG. Now, let's hit the road.
Good afternoon and welcome to Camping with Wade's RV. This is 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. Skyler Cooper here with you every Saturday at noon. And we're going to talk some camping today with Willy D from Wade's RV. Willy D, how you doing?
I'm doing absolutely great. It's going to be a little bit of a long weekend for us here at Wade's RV, so I'm always excited for a little extra time off. And things are really kicking off already today. We've had a lot of customers come in. I think because of the holiday, everyone's just got a little bit more time to get out and explore and do things like that. And then also we actually have Michael from Hot Diggity Dog. He's out front cooking up some hot dogs. He's got fresh squeezed lemonade. So, it's the absolute best. And we're just kicking off a great day out here. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be open until 5 p.m. this evening. And on Monday, we're actually going to be closed. So don't come on by because we're all going to be out camping with our families. I'm going to be out at the lake myself. I love going out there to Keystone Lake and hanging out at New Manford Ramp. And so if you're looking for me, that's where I'm going to be. But yeah, it's a great Saturday out here, and I'm really excited for the show.
You had me at hot dogs and lemonade. Where can I come find you?
Well, you know exactly where to find us. We're going to be at 161st and Highway 75. The store at 121st, they actually got a little bit extra time off as well, so they're actually closed today. But at the Super Center, we're firing on all cylinders, and we're going to be out here until 5, like I said, or you can shop online at wadesrv.com. You can buy an RV 100% online. It's super cool, and it's cutting edge, or give us a call at 918-291-1011.
A couple of things to get to today. Remember, you can text us. 70123 is the number. Put KRMG first and then your question or comment, and we'll be glad to get to that for you. 70123 is the number. A couple of things coming up today, Willy D. A little bit later, we're going to hear from the CEO of something called RV Share, and we talked to him recently about how big RVing is this summer. And we've talked about that on this show a lot, like all year, because it's a very different kind of year, and people are opting, instead of getting on planes, they're getting in RVs and they're heading out. And so I've actually heard a couple of different ways of how this is interpreted. So we'll get into some of that a little bit later. But first, introduce us to today's guest. This will be fun.
So I have the queen bee of RV inspections, and she's also a girl camper. So I brought on the show today Miss Brenda Puckett, and she's a kind of an expert. She's gone through a lot of these different classes and got her level 2 certification and inspection. So if people are looking at an RV, even here at Wade's RV or somewhere else, and you want to have a second opinion on it, just a third party that's going to be an unbiased source, you can always give her a call, and she goes through all the different systems. And I'll let her kind of explain a little bit about what she does, because I've just kind of started on the edge of learning about these different inspections and stuff. But really great lady, and we're going to be doing a lot of really great partnerships. We're actually going to be doing a camper college out here, and so I'm really excited about that. We've done little lessons before out here at Wade's RV, and it's always been really successful with helping new people get a better understanding of RVs, how they function, because it can be a little intimidating if you don't know what you're doing. But once you get in and once you start learning about them, you'll find out how easy it is to use these and how great they are and how much you're going to enjoy them. And it just really opens up your whole world so you can go out there and explore. So that's who I have on, and I'm really excited to have her.
Brenda, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thanks so much. It's so great to be here. I'm feeling awesome.
All right, Willy D, describe this partnership with Wade's RV and what people can come take part in.
So our partnership, we're going to be having a really cool camper college. And so if you're wanting to learn about campers, how they work, even just towing, different type of hitches, weights, weight distribution, we're going to be covering all of those topics. So whenever you get done with these classes, you are going to be an RV expert. You're going to know more than most people out there, maybe even some experienced RVers. You might be able to give them a tip or two. So it's going to be a really great partnership, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. Okay,
Brenda, tell us a little bit about what you do.
So Queen Bee RV Inspections is how Willy D and I got to meet each other. I am a certified level 2 RV inspector, and I too am just learning about it. I just found out there was such a thing at the beginning of this year. In February, I was looking for something to do that was maybe a side hustle or a career transition, and was exploring all kinds of opportunities, found out about it on social media, and went down to get certified. And the rest is history. It's very much like a residential home inspection for your camper, and it's super in-depth. The level of inspections that I do could have upwards of 500 points of inspection, things that I'm looking at from the water systems, the waste management systems, all the appliances, electric, the propane systems, tires, the chassis, the roof, the running gear, everything from top to bottom. And when I'm there by myself doing these, and I am a one-woman show, it can take me all day, upwards of 8 hours, and we'll take hundreds of pictures and videos for the client. Usually I'm getting called by people lately from out of state. People will call me because they have been shopping all over the universe for a camper, and I know Willy D knows this. Inventory is really scarce right now because people are so excited about this new revived method of travel that we've gotten into this year. So they're shopping all over the United States, and they'll call me really from every state in the country. I've had Washington State, D.C., Tennessee, California, Arizona, and they found one. That's how I got to meet Willy, perhaps at a dealership or a local private party, and they want somebody local to lay eyes on it for them before they make the trip across the United States to find out that perhaps it wasn't a match. So I give them the lowdown, and then they can negotiate their deal and drive home a happy customer.
That's interesting. So you show up at Wade's RV on behalf of a potential customer. Is that how it goes?
Yep. Some of these people have only seen the pictures. Some of them might have seen a video walkthrough online. I've had customers that are not going to lay eyes on it, and they're Wade's RV does this as well. They might just trailer it all the way to their state. They may never lay eyes on it until it gets to their front door. Most of the people will make the trek out if it's a match and they like what they see on the inspections. They'll go ahead and make the trek out there themselves, and they go meet Willy and the whole gang, and they give them the whole walkthrough and show them how to use their new rig and drive away.
So Willy D, do you have any other people or places that do this sort of thing? It seems like a great service.
Brenda is kind of my go-to. So if anyone is looking for that service, you can give her a call. Brenda, what's that phone number?
918-633-8969. And my website is queenbeesrv.com. And you spell out bees, queen, B-E-E-S, RV.com.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's really cool about Wade's RV, like what you were talking about, is that we do deliver units. So if they're looking at a unit, and even sometimes people will use these as homes, as we've talked about, and they want us to go ahead and bring it out there and just park it at the lake for them, we can do that. It makes it really, really simple. So if you're looking for a travel trailer, fifth wheel, motorhome, we'll even drive it to you. So I drive these all across the country. And so if you're listening from out of state, check out our website, see what kind of inventory we got, and then Willy D will come knock on your front doorstep and drop off that baby for you. So it's a really cool service that we offer here at Wade's RV, and I'm really excited to, just have this partnership. And I kind of want to get certified to be an inspector myself, just because there is so many different things to look at. Here at Wade's RV, we typically do a 41-point inspection, which is hitting all of those major points on an RV. But 500 points, that's quite a few different things to look at inside the RV itself. So I just like to be a little bit more familiar with it. And so I think it's a really, really cool thing and a really cool service to offer people, because I've seen it happen many, many times where, just like you said, they haven't even seen the RV. They have seen pictures, and then they take delivery of it. It's a really cool thing. And so it gives people peace of mind. And everyone is just so busy these days, running around, hustling and bustling. Sometimes customers don't have time to actually come out here and do the whole shopping experience. And so it makes it a lot easier for them and just helps everyone. And it makes the RV world go round. And as I always say, it makes another happy camper.
This is Camping with Wade's RV. You're listening to 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. I'm Skyler Cooper. Remember, you can text your questions to
Camping with Wade's RV every Saturday at noon on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk.
Welcome back. You are listening to Camping with Wade's RV on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. I'm Skyler Cooper. Willy D joining me from Wade's RV, 161st and Highway 75. And Brenda Puckett is our guest today, Queen Bee RV Inspections. It sounds like a really cool service. And if you missed any part of our conversation so far, remember, you can always find our podcast on the KRMG app. And speaking of going out and looking at things digitally, you can find Wade's RV online, wadesrv.com, or on Facebook. Willy D, you're like the king of video content, whether it's how-to videos or DIY. I love watching your stuff.
I love making videos and I love teaching people about RVs. And so if you're looking to learn a little bit more about different floor plans, walkthroughs, how to set up, how to even do some different repairs or even upgrades to your RV, you can find it on our website, on Facebook, or on YouTube. I got it everywhere. I mean, there's Willy D all over the place. So if you want to learn more, just go ahead and check out those different websites or swing on by the store. I'd love to meet everyone. It's kind of cool whenever customers come in here and they're like, hey, I listened to you on the radio, because you're kind of just talking to yourself. And it's great just to have customers coming on in here and experiencing the Wade's RV difference, because as I've said almost every single week, Wade's RV is not like your normal RV dealership. It's really cool. We got deer heads on the wall. We got cedar planking all around the shop. So whenever you walk in, I mean, it smells like you're in the woods. It's pretty cool. And the big difference is Wade Reeves is here every single day. And he's actually out there working in the shop. He's helping customers. I'm looking out the window right now, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's here, and he's here to make sure your experience is the best that it can be, because we have a passion for RVs. This isn't just another job. This is truly what we love.
All right. And Brenda, let's talk about Girl Camper. This partnership you're talking about with Wade's RV is part of Girl Camper. What is Girl Camper?
So I'm so glad you asked. Not a lot of people in this area have heard of it yet. Girl Camper brand was founded by a woman named Janine Pettit in 2015. She is from the New Jersey area, and it's evolved into this multimedia digital platform. I discovered her because I'm a fangirl of her podcast, which is the Girl Camper podcast, and she's up over 200 episodes right now. It's really a cool thing. They also just launched a magazine. She has a fantastic website with all kinds of resources on there and different experts writing and doing videos and whatnot. Very fun. So that's basically what Girl Camper is. One of her visions was also to start Girl Camper chapters. And I am getting ready to announce for the first time on your lovely radio show that I am the Eastern Oklahoma chapter guide for Girl Camper. I will have a website just like the national website and social media going anytime here. And our vision, or excuse me, her vision for the chapter guides was to be the local tourism expert for our neck of the woods. So we're all experienced girl campers. We're going to mentor newbies, host events, create educational opportunities. We're going to be blogging, and it will be reflective of really the type of camping that we do in this area. So I just happen to drive a big 31-foot Class C motorhome. There's lots of the girl campers that have small ultralight trailers. There's tent campers, van campers, girls that show up in a minivan with a tailgating tent. And she has coined this phrase. It is actually trademarked. There's no wrong way to camp like a girl. And that's what we're going to be doing, is hand-holding people, whether they're newbies or experienced, and just walking them through the whole journey.
That sounds awesome, Willy D. It sounds familiar because I got a little crash course from Wade on driving a sports chassis. So that camper college that we want to talk about sounds like it'd be really beneficial.
It's going to be a really great opportunity, not only just for girl campers, but if you're a guy and you're wanting to learn about RVs, come on out and participate in this event, because it really is going to be great. We're going to be talking about towing. We're going to be talking about weight. We're going to be talking about just RVs in general. I mean, I can talk all day about an RV. So come on out and experience this class, because it's really going to open the door and really show you what this lifestyle is about. And I'm not necessarily as versed in the whole girl camping thing. Brenda's actually going to do some different topics about, sprucing up your camper, decorating it, some different things like that. So it's really going to be able to appeal to just about everyone. And another great thing is, I talked about boom diggity dogs. Michael's going to be out here cooking hot dogs for us. So it's going to be a good time. You're going to get to learn about RVs. You can even go in them. And guess what? If you want to buy one, we're going to have one out there for you as well. My plan is to have one of our famous Aspen trails out there. And these smaller campers, that's what appeals to a lot of these folks that are just getting into this, because it just is that easy to get into camping. It costs about $100 a month for this camper. And so we're going to have one of those out there. So if someone does like it, they like what they see, they're feeling comfortable with it, they can actually take that unit home with them that day. And so it'll be kind of cool. You can learn exactly how to operate that camper. We give you a full demo at Wade's RV, but you very much are going to be hands-on and learning how to do that stuff. I'm going to do one of my favorite segments. I don't know if it'll be this class or for the next one, but dumping your sewer tank. This seems to be everyone's least favorite job, and I understand why, but it's so simple. Sometimes people get very intimidated by it, and they don't want to mess with it at all, and it just is so simple. Once you get your hands on it and you've done it once or twice, it'll be really easy. And don't worry, people, if you are listening and you're wanting to come to the sewer segment, I will have the tanks full of water. So you don't have to worry about that. It'll be nice and clean, but I'll definitely walk you through and show you how to do that. We'll talk about propane. We'll be talking about electrical systems, why it's important to have a 7-way plug, so you have those electric brakes on your trailer, different things like that. So we're really going to go in depth. And so if you're wanting to research, or you are a month, 2 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, I don't care. If you want to learn about campers, come on out. This is going to be a free course. And so there's not going to be any charge on it. And it'll be really great so you can open up your eyes and see what all of us are living. And I would say that we're living the dream because I love RVing just so much.
Couple minutes before our next break here at the bottom of the hour, we're going to check the news and the forecast. Give us the dates, Willy D. How do people participate?
So it's going to be September 26th. And if you're wanting to participate, we're going to have a little bit of a VIP event, you might say. And so if you're wanting to participate, you can get on our Facebook. I'm going to be making an event for that here. And you can RSVP on the event. You can give us a call here at Wade's RV, and we'll make sure that you get your VIP badge and make sure that you get your spot in line, because I can't have 1,000 people out here. I mean, that would be a little bit too much. So we want to make sure that everyone gets the individual attention that they need to make sure that they understand these things 100% and make sure that they're ready to go out there and start enjoying the camping lifestyle.
All right, we're going to come up on our break here. Willy D, you said that you are planning on spending the next couple of days, since you got Monday off, out at Keystone. And Brenda, if you would you like to stick around after our break and tell us some of your favorite camping spots?
Oh, I'd love that. Thanks.
All right, we'll get to it after the break. This is Camping with Wade's RV. You're listening to 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. Wade's RV, you're listening to 102.3 KRMG. Skyler Cooper with Willy D and Brenda Puckett, our special guest today. She is with Queen Bee RV Inspections, and she is partnering up with Girl Camper and Wade's RV to do this awesome Camper College, and you want to check that out September 26th. And you will, again, Willy D, remind everybody how they can reserve their spot, because you can't just have a bunch of people show up at once.
Absolutely. We want to make sure that everyone gets the individual attention that they need and make sure that they're fully versed and have their questions answered. And so if you're wanting to reserve your spot for that, give us a call at 918-291-1011 and just let us know that you're wanting to attend. We'll get some very basic information from you, and then we'll get you one of those VIP badges sent out and sent your way. But like I said, we can only have a limited amount of people. So if you're interested, give us a call and sign up, because we want to make sure that you have your spot and make sure that we have all the accommodations for you as well. And also, if there is a topic whenever you call in that you're wanting to know a little bit more about, go ahead and tell Miss Stephanie. She's our receptionist. Tell her what you're wanting to learn about, and we'll do our very best to squeeze in all of those topics.
Being that it is Labor Day weekend, a lot of people are probably out camping right now as they listen. And if you want to give us a little bit of a clue as to where you are, we love to talk about camping spots and where you like to be in Oklahoma. And if you're beyond Oklahoma, Willy D, we've taken calls from Colorado and Arkansas, Louisiana that one time. I mean, people are listening on the KRMG app from everywhere when they go camping. My spot, pretty much my go-to, I do like to go to Keystone, but when I'm going camping, it's in Winoka at Little Sahara. Go play on some of the off-road toys out there. You said that you what was that spot at Keystone you're going to go to, Willy D?
New Manford Ramp is like my ultimate spot out there, I guess. I know there's a couple different camping spots that you can stay out at Keystone, but whenever I find something I like, I just keep going back for more. And so whenever we get done with the show, I'm going to be packing up. I'm going to be grabbing all my buddies and all my gear, and we're going out to Keystone Lake. I mean, it's the perfect time to get in just a little bit more of that summer fun. We're not going to be able to swim for too much longer, so I'm definitely going to make sure I'm in there having a good time and swimming, fishing, doing all that sort of stuff, because fall is just right around the corner. Fall actually starts this month. So before you know it, the leaves are going to be changing on the trees. They're going to be falling off. And then we're going to be starting up those good old campfires. One of my favorite times of year is being able to sit around those campfires, smell that sweet smoke burning in the air. And then also, you got to love s'mores. So you're always sitting around cooking some great food. And it just makes it a lot nicer than when it's 100 degrees and then you start up a fire. There's just something that doesn't really click with me whenever that happens. I usually always start a fire at my campsite, but it's a lot more enjoyable whenever it's a little bit chilly outside.
Well, yeah.
So I'm going to be heading out there, and I'm really going to be having a good time. I always do. The camp hosts out there are really awesome. They always take care of you. I always like it because, like I said, I always am usually starting a fire. I'm kind of a pyro. I love fire. And so they're always showing me, hey, there's this little honey hole over there. You're going to find a few sticks and twigs. And over here, there's a few logs. And over there's a good fishing hole. And so they just really treat you like family, and it's a good time. It's usually pretty quiet out there. There's not a whole bunch of loud music and craziness going on, because when you go camping, you want to relax. You want to have a good time and you want to be safe, but you want to relax and make sure you're enjoying yourself.
I know you have sort of the run of the lot there. Have you chosen what RV you're going to take?
Well, Aspen Trails, they have a nice spot in my heart because I traveled around in one for so long. Whenever we used to be, me and little Wade traveled on the road for about a year there, going to different seminars and different events and stuff. And so, yeah, I just love Aspen Trails. I became really at home whenever I was traveling around on the road with little Wade, talking to people about RVing and the lifestyle. So Aspen Trail has a very, soft spot in my heart. I love them. And so I'm going to go out there and see what we have with the inventory. People have been buying RVs so fast. There's just about a name on everyone out there. And so I'm going to see exactly what we have. And we do have new inventory arriving daily. So that's something that's cool. But I'm going to see what we have in inventory and see what I can sneak off with this afternoon. And I'm going to be out there having a great time.
All right. So we covered our spots. Now, Brenda, what would you say is some of your favorite camping in Oklahoma or beyond?
It is so challenging to pick one. I am lucky I live up between Grand Lake and Hudson Lake on Big Cabin Creek, so I'm pretty close to the Arkansas border, and there's beautiful places over there. Lately, in the last year, I've done Robbers Cave State Park, Natural Falls State Park. I love Western Hills, now called Sequoia State Park, down there on Gibson. My favorite go-to lately has been a little small one you may not have ever heard of, Osage Hills State Park. I love everything Osage County.
Oh, yeah.
That is my go-to spot, Osage Hills State Park. It's a tiny little park. And I can't remember how many RV sites they have there. They have a whole tent loop as well with a little bit more primitive camping. They have these cool wall tents, really thick canvas tents that if you want to get out of the weather, whether it's cold or mosquitoes or whatnot, has a little fireplace, one of those wood burning fire things that goes through the roof of the tent, and you can get in there and get out of the elements and have dinner or whatnot. We'll reserve those. The girl campers and I will reserve those to have little parties in there and string up our lights and decorations. They have two little lakes there, Outlook Lake, and I can't remember what the other one is called. And the girls will go down there and go fishing and kayaking, and it's lots of natural, a ton of mature trees, and it's just cozy. I love the feel of it, and the people are really nice there. And for us, well, guys might like this too, but us girl campers, we love to go to Pawhuska and see all of the sites and do a little bit of Pioneer Woman and do the Mercantile and whatever else that you can do. And also the Tallgrass Prairie is nearby, the preserve.
Yeah.
So that's why I love Osage County.
That is one of my absolute favorites as well, just because of all those reasons that you were talking about. I think there's probably like 15 spots max down there at Osage Hills State Park. And so that's what kind of makes it cool, is it's kind of a close-knit kind of environment with your campers and your friends out there. And one of my favorite hikes in the entire state is whenever you hike up from the RV spot up to where the tent camps is, and then there's this big overlook, and it's really, really cool because you come into the state park and it's just all open, and then you go into the RV part and you're kind of like in a little almost like cave area. You have all the hills surrounding you and all the trees, and then you can hike up on top of that hill and just see all the way out in front of you and just see all the different landscape. And the Tallgrass Prairie Reserve is awesome. If you want to see some wild buffalo, you got to go check it out. So that's one of my absolute favorite spots as well.
You know, I went to Tallgrass a couple of weeks ago for the very first time, and I think they were shy that day. We saw a few, but they just weren't hanging out. And then the next day, people were posting pictures where they're right up next to the street, which you always see the pictures like that. And I was like, what did I do, run them off or something?
I'm surprised you didn't have a bull rope on one riding it across the pasture, Skyler. Come on.
Yeah, you know me.
Yeah, I kind of figured. But no, it's a great spot to go out there. There's lots of great hiking, and I have a interesting thing. So I was looking at some different camp spots for the weekend, and I found somewhere I definitely want to go. I'm interested to see if Brenda's got this, want to go spot. There's two places. So Lake Murray, I've heard about. They have just incredibly blue water, and they have a really cool nature center and stuff. And so that's something that I really enjoy. And so that's kind of on my list is Lake Murray. And then I also heard that the bronc riding capital of the world is in Guyman, Oklahoma. So I got to go over there and see what's going on with that. There's some really cool different campsites and different things. So those are my two spots that I'm really looking forward to going and trying out, and I can't wait to give everyone a full review on them once I do.
Brenda, do you know Lake Murray?
No, I have heard of it. I have not been there. I do end up staying on this side of the state, so I'm excited to explore Western Oklahoma a little more as well.
Yeah, just a little bit I know about Western Oklahoma. Once you get out there toward Winoka and all the camping that's out there, I'm sure Woodward has some spots too. It's really cool because the topography and everything in Oklahoma changes so much from here to just 3 hours west. It's really interesting.
It's a great thing because Oklahoma just has every different type of landscape. It's really cool. You can stay within the state and just see a little bit of everything. If you go out west, it's going to look a whole lot different than out east. And if you go up north, it's going to look a whole lot different than down south. So it's pretty cool. And, Tulsa, where we're at, we get a good feel and a mix of a lot of things. But getting out and exploring your state, I couldn't recommend it more. They're making lots of different great improvements. We talked the other day about the new restrooms going in at the parks. I mean, that's super cool. They have the new app, and so you can see the trails, and it even shows you where you're located. So if you get lost, you can kind of work your way back out, and you can also reserve camp spots. I mean, the state of Oklahoma has been doing so much to really make the RV world so much better, and then tourism overall. So get out there and explore your state. One thing that's really cool is they came out with this Route 66 passport. And so whenever you're going around to the different state parks and stuff, you can get a passport stamp. And so it'll show that you've been there. It's really cool. It's not really, it's made for kids, but as an adult, it's fun as well because you can see all those different places. And another cool feature about that is you're actually going to get discounts at a lot of these different stops. So I was looking on there and I was like, oh, the giveaway is just super cool. So I kind of wanted to go there and just, get my stamp and get the giveaway and different things like that. And there's tons of different resources if you are on Travel OK. And so if you're looking for guides and you're looking for ideas, there is countless books that they will send you for free. And that way you will have more ideas than you have time. It's incredible. And it's just one of those other resources that they're putting out there to make the state of Oklahoma just that much better.
It's Camping with Wade's RV. You're listening to KRMG. I'm Skyler Cooper with Willy D from Wade's RV. And Brenda Puckett has been our guest with Queen Bee RV Inspections. Brenda, thanks so much for joining us. It was great to talk to you.
Thanks for having me. I am so excited to do this with Wade's RV and the Camper College at the end of the month. I appreciate it.
Check it out, and you can get more information. Call Wade's RV, 918-291-1011. We'll be right back.
With Wade's RV on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's news and talk.
Hi to Brenda Puckett from Queen Bee RV Inspections, a really cool thing that she's doing, and you guys all partnering up with Girl Camper to do this Camper College. I might have to come enroll and see if I can graduate, because eventually I'll learn what the C's are. I think I know what the C's are now. I've understand that what we're about to get into here, that Class C's are really exploding in popularity lately, is what this individual is saying. Would you agree locally?
Oh, yeah. Class C's are super popular. I have 2 on the lot right now. So if you're looking for one, you better boogie on over to Wade's RV and you better put your name on it because it won't be around long. And so Super C's are popular. C's are popular. Travel trailers are popular. Everything RV is popular. And so if you own an RV and you're not using it, there's something you can do. There's something called RV Share. And so I have countless different customers that are actually renting out their RV, and it not only pays for their monthly payment, but it pays them. And so a lot of people are getting into RV Share or upgrading their RV because it gives them a avenue to make some extra fundage, and it helps other people go camping. And so basically this app pairs you with an RV owner or vice versa, someone looking to use an RV. And so you can go out there and you can actually rent it. So it's a really cool app. I have, like I said, a couple different customers that use it. There's a couple of the guys here at work that actually own RVs, and they use that as kind of a little side hustle. So they're renting out their RV. They'll even, if you don't have a truck or trailer or you don't want to drive it, don't worry, because they actually have it set up where they can have someone drop it off for you at your location, at your site, and have it set up. It's a super cool app, and I was really impressed whenever they came out with it, and it's going to grow and it's going to explode. It's just a great another avenue to make some money.
And we just recently talked to the CEO of RV Share. His name is John Gray, and he was telling us about how big of a year it is for RVs.
Traveling in an RV has been amazing this summer. It's been the preferred way to travel. What we've seen is people still want to travel. They kind of want to travel maybe even more than ever now that they've been, cooped up inside for quite a while. And they've been putting a premium on trips that provide you with control over your surroundings. And RVing does just that. When you rent an RV, you take your bathroom with you, you take your kitchen with you, and you take your bed with you. And all of those things help provide a more controlled experience than, going to the airport or going to Disney World or some of the other things that people might choose to do when they're traveling.
And Willie D, that's something that's really important to people this year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, people have been inside, so getting out and exploring is not just a good fun activity. It's healthy for you. I mean, it gets your mind going, it gets your body moving, you get some fresh air. And so RVing has been just super popular, and they're wanting to travel, and that's exactly what they're doing. It used to be where you could just go roll up to a state park, find a camping spot, and just keep on trucking. That might not be the case all the time now, just because of how many people are out there camping. Many times I have to reserve my spot even a week in advance, which doesn't seem that, out of the ordinary. But for RVs, I used to be able to plan on the fly. I'm kind of a shoot from the hip kind of guy. And it's kind of changed the way I camped a little bit. But overall, it's really great because I know more people are getting outside and exploring. They're seeing these different adventures. They're seeing these different stops. They're getting into new hobbies. And it just seems like everyone's just a little happier overall. And so it's been a really nice and refreshing change, especially with these current times and situations.
Checking in with John Gray, the CEO of RV Share. And you may already know this, Willie D, so it could be an unfair question, but he's going to tell us about some really popular places people are going. Do you know what the number one place in the country is right now?
I don't, but I'm interested to find out. I would think maybe like Mount Rushmore, or I guess, I don't even know if Disneyland's open, but I would think, a national park or something. I'm curious. Let's hear it.
So the overwhelming number one this year has been Yellowstone. And Yellowstone is normally the top destination, but it's by a wider margin this year than it's been in the past. The other thing, though, that I would note is that under the kind of headline of Yellowstone, you're seeing a lot of people take trips to places closer to home. So they're going to a nearby state park. They're going to the nearest national park to them. They're maybe putting the bucket list trips on hold and instead, focusing on spending time with the people who are closest to them and spending time in a beautiful place, not necessarily a bucket list place. So we've seen a lot more of that this year. And we believe that that's to do with, people not wanting to get on an airplane and fly to then pick up their RV.
That's what we were just talking about, going to all the local state parks.
Hey, exactly. I mean, they hit the nail on the head with that one. And, Yellowstone's a really cool place. That's on one of my bucket list stops and destinations. So if you've been there, I'm a little jealous. I'm going to go ahead and admit. So I think that's really cool. And Oklahoma's great. But let's not forget about the United States of America. I mean, we got the best country out there. And so if you want to see the best of the best, just stay on here and you can see the very best here at home, either at the national parks or like what we've been talking about, the state parks. I really don't get out and, get out of the state very much. Every once in a while when I deliver an RV, that's usually whenever I leave the state. But I love staying here at home and just staying at all the local parks. Right up the road from me here, I live out in Beggs. And so right up the road from me in Okmulgee, there's Okmulgee Lake and Dripping Springs, and that's a really great destination. And the camp hosts there are awesome. They're like family. And so whenever I go there, it's like pulling up to Grandma and Grandpa's house. Charles and Cherie, they'll take care of you and make sure that you get set up. And hey, she is quite the fishing woman. So if you need a good fishing spot, you go talk to Cherie and she'll make sure that you're taken care of.
Hey, we just have like 2 minutes left on the show today, but I wanted to ask you a question about something that you guys are always changing what's on the inventory, always ordering new things and bringing in trades and stuff. You have a really innovative floor plan. There's a 2-story RV.
Yes. So I was really excited whenever we had this RV on the lot. I don't think the guy was even unhooked from his trailer before I was in there running around checking it out and stuff. And this is a 2-story RV, and it was the first one that I had ever seen, and it just feels homey in there. It has a cool floor plan, but it's homey. What I like is it's kind of almost like a bat cave feeling. Whenever you go down to the master bedroom, you go downstairs and it's like a basement. It's pretty cool. And you have a really great view out to both sides of your campsite. So let's say you got the lake on the left or the right. It's not going to be a problem. You got windows on both sides. And up above you, what there is a giant loft. So in the past, you used to just have kind of these loft bunk areas. No, this is like an upstairs balcony, kind of like a game room sort of. This this thing is super cool. And then you just go through the camper and you have your kitchen area and things of that nature. But if you haven't seen this thing, you have got to get on my website and check it out. It is a Sabre fifth wheel, or even better, come on out here to Wade's RV, because I'll let you in on a little secret. All our RVs, we have access to either have them plugged in or have them cooled off. And so if you call up here and you say, hey, I want to see that Sabre, I'm really interested in it, it's a little warm outside, can you get it cooled off? Give us a call and we'll get someone on the forklift, pull it around, get it plugged in. That way you can have the best shopping experience possible. We just finished our concrete pads up front, which look amazing. But for you, the customer, it allows us to plug even more RVs in to have them cool off and lit up just in general. And so we're just always making improvements and advancements here at Wade's RV to make sure that you, the customer, have the very best shopping experience, not just in town, not just in the state, but ever.
And remember, Wade's RV is going to be closed on Monday for Labor Day, but you can go see him until 5 tonight, or give him a call, 918-291-1011. And Willie D, they'll see you back on Tuesday.
Yep, we'll be back open, ready to help you start turning miles into memories on Tuesday. So come on up and see us. We'll be open until 6 on Tuesday. During the week, we have extended hours, and so we're open from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. And then on Saturdays, we're open from 9 until 5. So if you're looking for an RV or you have any questions at all, come on out and see us, 161st and Highway 75, or give us a call, 918-291-1011, and tell them Willie D sent you.
This is Camping with Wade's RV. You're listening to 102.3 KRMG. The future of real estate with Daryl Baskin is next.